We are some of the founders for American Patriot Relief. By the way, we are a 501c4 that does take donations for the J6ers. And as board members, we cannot take any of those funds. So this isn't a grifting operation. We're very transparent. So I
What's the
want
name of your what's the name again?
AmericanPatriotRelief.org.
I'm gonna follow you. Message me that later. AmericanPatriotRelief.org. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Um, so me and my husband both are J6ers. And just to kind of break the narrative, we did not go past a barricade or into the Capitol. So please don't be mistaken to think that those are the only ones that are losing their freedoms. Um, we have already told our story just cajillions of times, so I think we're a little late for worrying about revealing too much information. But we were attacked from over the barricades when we were on the proper side of the barricades while in prayer. So there was a lot of assaulting going on that day. With that said, obviously rights were very violated then, but to keep it more vague, to keep everyone more happy and not on edge, I'll talk about how they served our warrant because I have heard some of that touched on. I heard Trinity's story. We live out on a farm, and they come out here with 22 federal agents, two SWAT teams, and an MRAP that they pulled up on my handicap ramp and had the battering ram at my front porch. And there was never a phone call. Hey, we'd like to talk to you. We didn't have a clue they were even looking for us. We don't watch news. We figured out that how demonic that stuff was a long time ago. So we live out in the country. We don't have neighbors all around us, and they come out here and and raided us. They refused to show us a search warrant. I asked 3 different times, even got nasty with them, and he would just hold it about 3 to 6 feet back and say that we that he didn't have to show it to us, that he was close enough. They even came into my house after flying a drone in it, before showing the warrant. Came in my house to get my glasses off the nightstand to bring out to me so that I could see that search warrant 3 feet away. The only thing I was ever able to see was the house numbers. And that told me that, okay, it is my house. So we let them go through, do whatever they need. They took my wedding ring. I call it stole it because later we found out that the search warrant was only for our cell phones, which we handed over the minute they showed up. The minute we got out to them, we handed over our cell phones with our, uh, with our PIN number to get into the phone. And then when we see this warrant, it was only for the cell phone. So they come into our house. They took my wedding ring. They took a full length leather coat that I was wearing the day of January 6th that I'd inherited from my aunt when she passed away. And they took our horrible, horrible knitted Trump cap and, our scarf because, it's just so horrible that we would wear something like that, I guess. I'm not sure what their bend was that way because there was no denial that we were there that day. We didn't have anything to hide. We defended ourselves when we were attacked, and we just didn't expect any response from them. What cop, what cop is going to come after you when he knew he was doing wrong? So we figured if we didn't file charges on him, it was probably good to go. And us being as good natured as we were, really thought, they're under a lot of stress, they're under a lot of pressure. we just kind of moved on. And so this rolled forward. The next, you know, you talk about the due process, the next things that we've ran into, we paid $70,000 to private attorneys that we were going to owe $250,000 to. And we started realizing that things just weren't looking right. It was a whole lot of money, and they weren't filing motions. And every time we would have a hearing by Zoom, it always seemed like there was an inappropriate relationship with the AUSA and our attorneys, and it just made us feel very uncomfortable. So we finally decided we couldn't afford this anymore and went with public defenders. But while we were with our attorneys, we got to see our discovery. Lots of videos that very clearly stated showed what we were saying happened to us. And then we get over to our public defenders, and he don't have our video evidence. He has one video that pretty much shows the back of other police officers, but the ones that very clearly showed we had been attacked are missing. He can't get them. And it's just things like that that we hear over and over again. They'll go to trial whether we have these videos or not, and I don't even know how that's legal. How can you have a trial when we don't even have our discovery? And who are you to say what discovery we should have? They say, well, it's a facial recognition. If you're in it, you get the video. Okay, well, there could be video of the back of our head, of our arm, of our body posture in another scene that could be exonerating evidence. And, that in itself is wrong. Or how about some of the judges' quotes showing that they should not be on a case? Judge Lambert had referenced another judge sentencing Anna Morgan Lloyd, and she was one of the first ones. She got off with probation, and then she went on Fox News and recanted her sorrow and remorse for what she did, and it made the judges mad. So another judge, Lambert, not even the one that sentenced her, literally when sentencing Scavo, turned around and referenced that as to why he's not going to let him off the hook with a probation. I mean, does that not sit there and self-identify that these judges should have already recused themselves off these trials? I have so many of them that, Judge Moss saying that, well, I don't think it was Judge Moss. I don't want to misquote the name, but there have been judges that have literally stated, because you don't seem remorseful enough, or you won't take back the mean things you said, you're going to get a harder sentence. And that flies right in the face of freedom of speech. It's your First Amendment. When they're keeping these guys in prison without their due process, I mean, they're stomping on our Fourth Amendment, their Sixth Amendment, their Eighth Amendment, and they're getting away with this stuff. And I really hope this is going to be what turns it around. For me and my husband, we're still in this. Our trial's not until August. And, one of the things that just disgusts me the most is them